Oh, we are live. Welcome. This is Joyful Friday. We're taking a few minutes right now before Professor Joy Mayat comes on with our check-in. But I just wanted to impart a few things, as we've made mention in other check-ins, that we're going into the metal element, the metal time of fall. And so I just really wanted to start off by acknowledging where this medicine originated from. I'm going to read you a little bit just to get a background of the classical text that this corresponds with. So the Huangdi Neijing, it's also called the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Medicine. And this was written about 2600 BC. There's some sentiments actually that it probably dates back later to around 300 BC, but it was a compilation of perhaps several different authors. And the interesting thing about this is that Huangdi, the Yellow Emperor, had a physician named Qibo, and they had conversation kind of going back and forth about, what's this about health, long life, longevity? Can you teach me? Can you tell me? And this book, this classical text, is actually their conversation back and forth. So, Huangdi would inquire about the nature of health and diseases and treatment, and it just so happens that chapter 2 of the Huangdi Neijing, or the Yellow Emperor's Classic, is talking about the art of life through all 4 seasons. So this is something that we're really kind of honing in on. And there were 3 months of spring, 3 months of summer, 3 months of autumn, and 3 months of winter. So as we're transforming, the transformation of yin and yang in these 4 seasons, that's the basis of growth and destruction of life. So all of these universal principles of growth, death, birth, rebirth can naturally occur. So also, kind of going back and mentioning from the very beginning of Earthworks YouTube series, which, by the way, I will be gearing back up. I just actually needed deep rest. So to all followers of the YouTube channel, that will be coming back on very soon. But these Chinese medicine is also an indigenous medicine, and it's allowed me to personally reconnect with certain parts of my own lineages and ancestries and their medicines, including growing and cooking my own foods with the seasons. So another part, chapter 4 of the Huangdi Neijing, is super Wu-Tang, right? Super Wu-Tang clan. It's called The Truth from the Golden Chamber. And this is where Qibo kind of breaks down for the Emperor Huangdi about the 5 elements. And there are 5 elements in traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, and they are broken down even further. So the 5 elements are, hi Boomerang, the 5 elements are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. So for today, while we reset and while we wait for Joy Mayat to join us, I wanted to impart that we're moving into the metal element, or the fall time, so I'll go a little bit into that. So the metal element is, like I said, associated with autumn, and in this book, in this classical book, I wish I had this book right next to me, but there is a whole chart on the different elements and what they correspond with. So for instance, metal element, it corresponds with dryness. Its planet is Venus. It's associated with the element of metal. It even has an animal, a horse. Its grain is rice. Its color is white. Its flavor is pungent. Apparently it smells like a fish. Its zong, or yin organ, is the lung. So this is important when we go further into this. Its orifice is the nose. Its body part are the skin and the hair. The sound it's associated with is crying or weeping. Its emotion, this is also very important, is grief or sadness. Its pathology is coughing. Its location is on the shoulders or like the upper back. Its spirit, this is cool. Each element and each yin and yang pair, they correspond with a soul. So, Chinese and indigenous practices, we all understand that all living sentient beings have a soul. So your lungs, even like your vitals, your viscera within your body, also have a soul. So the lungs, or also known as the po, they correspond with your ethereal soul. So right, it's like the first breath of life in and the last breath of life out. So it's also associated with courage, according to the Yellow Emperor's classic. But for me, courage is actually associated with the gallbladder. But I would love somebody to chime in whenever they see this video, to talk further about that. So to just kind of wrap up about the metal element and fall time, again, metal corresponds with fall and the lungs and large intestine. So the lung and the large intestine are the yin and yang pair. The lung is the yin pair and the large intestine is the yang pair. So we're not only talking about taking in this sustaining breath of life, but we're also talking about assimilating what's really useful and expelling what's no longer needed, right? That's like a very I've heard this kind of adage like for quite some time, especially with what BIPOC and LGBTQIA plus folks are going through. And I think that that's really important because in the past 6 months, we've just had this like kind of great, I won't say awakening, but, fairly so. It's really great to review what these past 6 months have brought. So we had a new moon in Pisces 6 months ago, and we're talking about taking in, the camera's moving. We're talking about taking in and perhaps like slowing down because of COVID. That was a very thoughtful thing to consider, and many of us could, and COVID, the blessing in disguise allowed us to do that. And now we're in a full moon Pisces. Actually, we're just kind of transiting out of that full moon energy. And so we're really working on navigating exactly like what hasn't served us. Joy's on. Hey, Joy Bayat. Let's see. I'm going to move too. I'm going to move to a place that's cozier. Wow, she's connecting. Hey, peace.
Peace. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. I need because beautiful heat.
I don't have an AC, so this is just me roasting.
Exactly. Oh, I love it though. I love it.
Yeah. How are you? How's Asheville?
Oh, it's good. It feels good today. Yeah, every day is different. So every day is different, especially in this super magical place where, work is being done on all levels of shadows and
That's it.
lightness. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's good. How about you?
Doing fairly well, doing the check-in with you today. So yeah, really just kind of feeling out the Friday today and figuring out today is oranges. Today's all about oranges, but I just finished explaining to folks that everything about the metal element and how we are in this on the other side of this full moon Pisces energy and kind of letting go what doesn't serve us anymore, and how that is also in correlation with the large intestine, which is the yang pair to the lung, and the lung is associated with grief. So like we're all in, it's simpatico, this is a seasonal thing. This is not something that's like new. So I've just been kind of contemplating about that today. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when COVID first happened, my first walk, I was walking with a friend on his land, and he was showing me you can oh, I can't remember the name of it now. I think it's UNCEA. It's on my page. And it was growing from the trees. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to are you from the South? The Spanish.
Oh, the Spanish moss. Yeah.
It's like that. It grows trees, explaining that it's for the lungs. It was like
Oh.
Mother Nature was giving us her medicine, medicine as this, this virus was hitting our breath,
Right.
hitting things. And so I had grabbed, a bunch of that and was using it in my tea to, for preventative measures and to heal in the body. Yes, I am on the move. So my son is.
Oh, your son is such a light. Hey, hey, hey. Peace.
He got his black magic
Yeah.
mask on. um, yeah. Let me write it down for you.
Oh, shouts to
Okay.
his
Yeah. So
podcast too. He's got his own podcast now.
he does. He does. He has his own podcast. Secret hype. Secret hype man. Forgot your
Secret
second
hype
name.
man.
Yes, and he took a break for the month of September,
Okay.
and so he'll be back at it. But he has plenty of stuff on there.
Cool.
Plenty of stuff on there.
You can find it on
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yes, Spotify.
Okay.
All
That's
right. There you go. All right. Yeah.
yes.
So that was pretty amazing. And then I went and like picked some more. I'll what do you call it? I'll forage in my yard or am on my walk. So I just picking up like mullein and chicory and like
Hmm.
all different things.
Yeah, mullein. Yes.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I just love how Mother Earth provides
Mm-hmm.
and so just to be like tapped back into that um was immediate medicine.
Yeah.
Immediate medicine.
Do you know anybody that provides OSHA root? Like that's very good for the lungs, for clearing the lung, but it's hard to find here for me. I don't know why.
I used to get it in Greensboro
Hmm.
at that health store on um that was right next to like in that plaza with African Moore.
House of Health.
Yes, yes. And that's where
I
I
know
used to
where
get
you
mine
are.
from. Yes. I haven't had any OSHA root in a while, so I'm
Yeah,
not
I have
sure.
some old, but it's like, can I
Yeah.
still decoct this?
Yeah.
Like,
I do that too. I go in the back of my cabinet digging out stuff. I'm like, okay. I always check to make sure. I was in one house where the moths had got to it,
oh
so
no.
like you could tell because it's like they're like making silk out of it or whatever they do. I don't even know what they do.
You must have a need.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I can't use those.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're good.
just kind of flowing through my Friday. Like, this is day 4 for
Hmm.
this reset. So it's feeling good. Like anything that you start, like 21 days personally for me feels like I think it's the old adage of, you can create a new habit within
Yeah.
21 days, but still trying to not be so rigid. Like my flow might not be the exact same each day, doesn't look the same each day. And like, that's fine. That's okay. Like
Yeah.
I did things
But the
backward.
habit is self care, though, right?
Yeah.
That's the habit, yeah, of intentional self care.
Yep,
Hmm.
intentional self-care. And I even got I don't know if you've heard of this woman, Lala Dalia, Vibrate Higher Daily. I'm gonna plug her
Ooh.
right now because this is an excellent book.
Oh, what
I
is
mean,
it? Like it gives different tasks and stuff?
well, the contents are, get this, another way of being, self, others, vibrating higher in the world, and then a love letter is the epilogue. And it does, I mean, she just kind of makes mention of, not makes mention, she goes on extensively, but um, she's talking about even like how to vibrate higher even in your home, and like allowing people to finally envision like even the contents within your home are what is surrounding you and inspiring you to the same vibe. Like you're not just ingesting food, to nourish yourself. You're ingesting media, you're ingesting, whether you're indoors or outdoors, like what are you surrounding yourself with that's going to be supportive for you. And so I just really love, I've been waiting for this to come in the mail and it came
Ooh, I'm
today.
gonna put it on my list. I'm gonna put it on my list. It looks
hmm
amazing.
Actually, we have a bookseller who's like on this live, and he could probably get you the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tag me, follow me, whoever you are, and I will follow back. You
Yeah.
know, I love to support.
It's Boomerang Books. Do you know Cricket Leggett? Do you know him?
Hmm.
Greensboro.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've gotten books from him before. Oh yes, absolutely.
Family.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
very. Yeah. Okay.
So what else is your flow looking like today?
Yeah, so today I was in the shop for a bit. And that always feels so good just to be in our black spaces. It's just
Yes.
like, oh.
Yeah.
Um, so that just felt like it never feels like work, it feels like, just taking care of ourselves and our community.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing that, and then I just came from the farmers market, so bought fresh veggies and fruits because I am preparing a detox next week after the holiday, or
Hey.
even during. I'm actually gonna go out and buy a juicer today, and
Yay.
I'm going to go visit family. And after we have our little barbecue or whatever they're doing,
Yeah.
we're gonna put some juices in there, and
Yes.
we gotta like. That's how I get my family. Is I always come with the nutrition sneaking in, just
That's
sneaking into the
beautiful.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too, like going into metal time in Chinese medicine, there are different foods that you can eat to support your lungs. And
Yeah.
so, I was gonna actually look into that today. Like, what could I possibly have a juice or two? So, what could I do to like juice for my, health, for my lung health, and then supplement that with herbs, especially moving into fall. I'm a little bit concerned. Here's my cat. I'm a little bit concerned with fall and winter time with COVID, actually.
Right.
Like,
Right.
to prepare now is right on. Like, we should all be, handling that now.
Definitely. Yeah. I actually get into a little bit of that. No, I'm trying to think. On my revised, I have to look on I just revised my live juice, live my juice and live food cleanse book. And
Okay.
I do have the chart where I talk a little bit like each color in association with the organs in the body. And
Yeah.
so I think I might get into that one. I know I definitely do in my meal planning book,
Okay.
where I talk about like what colors or what foods are good for the lungs, good for the
Mm-hmm.
nervous system, good for, all of that different stuff. So yeah, when I actually went to the market that I went to and bought all my stuff to juice was actually an Asian family. So I was asking him what specifically can I juice from his market. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that.
That's
Some of that.
awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have a really great Asian food market here called Fubon in Portland, and that's where I go to get a lot of my fruit when I juice. And they have a lot of the dragon fruits and the passion fruits and there's all the really good stuff. The
The
rambutans,
Asian pears.
yeah, Asian pears. Asian pears are really good for the lungs, actually. Yeah.
Oh, good, because that's what I got. I got a bunch
Hmm.
of those.
And sauteing
Hmm.
them with like a little bit of like ginger or something, or a little bit of cinnamon, and to kind of like
Yes.
make them warming, but also that helps kind of flush out the mucus also in the lungs. So yeah.
Okay, good. I'll have to, yeah, I'll put some ginger root in there too then when I do that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm actually drinking some of your tea right now. This is the jasmine, passion flower, oat straw, and spearmint that you gifted me. So good.
Yes, thank
Good.
you.
Do you have blends for fall time too?
I do. I do. I actually am going to there. It's on my site. I just haven't back ordered right now because I need to make the batch. I try to,
Right.
stay with the seasons. So I have a orange spice blend, and that's where it has the like cloves.
Oh, your sound kind of went out, I think. There it goes.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, it has like cloves and like orange spices. I think it's like a black chai type of blend. Um, Yeah, so stuff that's really good for, um, yeah, so it's warming, very warming. It heats up the body and boosts the immune system and yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I think that this is really important, especially in the wake of Chadwick Boseman too, like kind of highlighting colon cancer and really understanding a new way of looking at the body's health as a holistic
Mm-hmm.
being, sentient being. And that's why I was honing in on this lung, large intestine time, and even I did 3 days of celery juice in the morning right away to like start my day. And that felt so good because it got everything moving. And then what I was wanting to discuss with you today, actually, I have a certain way that I enjoy juicing and then adding my nutrients back into my being, but
Yeah.
not everybody does it the same. Some people like to cleanse and add nutrients. I'm more of a cleanser. And now today would be, right, I did that for like 3 days just in the morning. So today I'm adding back in all my nutrients and my vitamins because if I am flushing them out of my system, I don't want to keep flushing out the good stuff too. So,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's how I got in my like my booklet and my courses talk about like yeah we're gonna do um the detox where it's actually getting like cleansing you from all the sugars and all the other stuff and even
Mhm.
if you have substance use stuff going on just really kind of get that out of your body and then really doing a cleanse and where we're addressing the different organs and start to cleanse those out, like a reset. And then the other juices start to put vitamins in. So that's where all like the fruit juices and all
Right.
the stuff, vitamin C and, all those nutrients back into the body to, now that we cleanse, we got a clean slate. We want to make
Yep.
sure boosting and energizing. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I do
hmm
the same thing too. Like if I'm chelating, and I'm trying to remove like harmful metals out of my body,
hmm
I'll use like spirulina and chloria, but then I'll
yeah.
only go so far with the spirulina because there's something to the effect of reabsorbing back into your bloodstream.
Yes. I'll tell you this story about me and Spirulina.
Okay. Friend or foe? Teacher.
But yeah, but that's a good point because we overdo it, sometimes. And I
Super forward.
like, the guinea pig before I'm learning, before I, teach and instruct. So I had Lena and I was going just every day, Lena and chlorophyll. And yeah, it was, I actually saw like the depletion of nutrients
Yeah.
being cleansed. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh. And then I realized that it's not a fungus, but is
Uh,
it
the chlora or the spira?
yeah, spirulina. It actually is
It's an algae, I believe.
an algae, right? So yeah, so that's to really like eat up all the stuff like
Right.
fungus, like a mushroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, a little
Also good.
too much. Yeah, very good for you, but yeah, in moderation as well.
Serious. These are the things you learn. I mean, I feel like my own like alchemical experiment. Like, let's try this and cleanse my body. And it also depends too, because like some people I think that are like followers of you and I, they're already pretty well versed in cleanses and juices and things like that. But to me, like going back to basics, this is very important because
Yeah.
even if you're so like even you and I, like we know quite a bit, but like the spirit the spirulina could do a thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So it's a balance and it's a journey. And then I also recognize that some things in my now does not necessarily work because my energy is different, my movement is
hmm
different. What I need is the environment I live in is different, than where I was before. And
Yeah.
so I needed when I was living out west, I needed different things,
Right.
and and so that's something definitely to pay attention to too.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like that hasn't really been tapped into enough. And I had some of these conversations with Chinese professors at my college that I graduated from, where even like my diet and dietary, I'm from Honduras. I'm Central American, Afro-Indigenous. And so my dietary needs and my biome is completely different than somebody from Northern China. So, you know, a lot of these like cold, damp kind of foods, they don't do well in my biome at all.
Right.
And knowing like regionally where you're from, I think that's so important. One, environmentally sound and safe, you know, like where are you getting your food from and how far is it traveling to you? Can you grow it yourself? That would be optimal. But also, yeah, just like checking in, like where are your literal roots from, or roundabout, if you can get a general sense, if you're a Black person living in the South, what is the culture and the diet and the needs there? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, when like honey is medicinal, right? The honey is different depending on the region because
Uh-huh.
bees are getting the, you know, the nectar from the plants here.
Yep.
So it's the same thing with the fruits that we are eating. So if you're getting them from the grocery store and they're buying their groceries from Mexico,
Right.
you know, you're not getting necessarily the nutrients that you need. So going to your local farmers market or co-op
CSA.
is the best to do because you're getting homegrown, you know, food from the land that is from your region. And so you're
Mm-hmm.
getting that medicine that you'll need from then. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why CSAs too are really important. Like I love seeing just everything that has kind of popped into bloom from COVID, you know, like trying to figure out ways that we're taking care of each other and, you know, really bringing, you know, farm to table sometimes, like with CSA, you know, a lot of different co-ops and movements kind of talking about more food justice and accessibility to healthy things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that that gets, you know, pushed further.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is interesting. I really haven't. I think in the beginning I heard more about like people really advocating for food justice because the stores they were skeptical whether or not the stores were going to be shut down, and so people
Mhm.
were looking for their local farmers. Um, but yeah, since you know all of the uprisings and so many things is drawing our attention right now, I haven't heard that since the beginning.
Yeah.
So that is something to start really questioning and looking for. Um, yeah, I'm glad you brought that to my attention. That is a thought. Mhm.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's really important too. I think you just tapped into a thought for me is, you know, we have been completely overwhelmed and bombarded isn't even like that's like light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like mayo light. Like it's not like it's and it doesn't really say what actually is affecting us generationally in the here and now. And so it's always been an effort, really. That's what the 21-day kind of reset thing was, too. Is like, where do I even begin right now? Where am I spiritually, mentally, physically? Am I in my body even? Am I dissociating? Am I, you know, like, am I staying in bed? Am I able to get up and walk? You know, am I able to like make a cup of tea? Or,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes the purple lipstick is just to make me feel good.
I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Power in the
Yes.
purple. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
like trying to kind of think about, even though there's so much that has always been and is completely overwhelming sensory right
Mhm.
now,
Mhm. Mhm.
how do I shift my focus? How do I vibrate higher through all of this right now? Where am I putting my attention and focusing my attention? Like CSAs, like food justice, like, you know, it's
Yeah.
really easy to be caught up. I admit I've done that too. Like, oh, the feds are back in town, or the, you know, like it's
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely did that at the beginning. I was like just pulled everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times, you know, I'm like, where's my work? Oh, I'm getting, you know, and because I'm so open, I just get pulled. Um, and so you do have your charger by any chance? And so that was something for me where I had to practice, intentionally practice. So, I have and I practice African traditional spirituality and religion. And so I go to my altar every morning, and one of my prayers is to ask that my energy be drawn to what is for my highest
Yeah,
destiny, what I need, what I need for today, and what the community needs for today. How I can,
exactly.
and that has shifted so much because I now it's not even a thought. It's like my ancestors are working to protect and to like, okay, here I'm gonna go. This is who you're not gonna come to space today, or this is where you're not gonna go.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Become a dramatic thing, once I set that vibration out, and once I set that prayer and speak that.
Yes. You're back.
People trying to call in. Um, yeah, so it's that's how I have learned to really get into my body and be more intentional about where my energy is drawn every day, and it really held me back quite a bit on me just being everywhere and scattered.
Right, exactly. Yeah, some people, checking in with quite a few people. Some people exercise, some people read, some people just take naps. I also know that, on like a 5D kind of spiritual plane, like when I get downloads and I'm integrating things, I need a nap. I just kind of feel like, oh, so many messages. Ugh.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and just like download it all the way, shut down mode.
I think it's a
That's what we gotta
thing.
do with our computers, right?
I think that that's a thing too, because like the world is shifting, and I really do believe that if we do set our intentions early on and focus really what do we want, what do we really want to see? And I think a lot of like our elders are like really, they've been so hopeful, like the steam is kind of running out, and then there are others that are like keep going, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think once we begin to really understand what our purpose is
totally.
in the moment, and
Hmm.
sometimes your
Oh, that's
purpose
good.
needs rest.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's for you to just rest today and allow someone else to fill in and to hold that capacity. I think once we realize that we don't have to be everything. We can't.
Exactly.
So we allow other people to fill in, as they feel the energy. It's just ebb and flow with everybody. It's just, if I might be, tired, exhausted and need to, stay in for the day or need to just do some movement in my own body, and you might be full of energy. And so
Yeah.
you can keep the movement moving, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's why I think these check-ins are important in community wherever we are with each other, so that we can know,
Right.
continue to know where capacity is with each other.
Right. I love that point of your purpose in the moment. I love that because I feel like that is what is really going to bring you obviously back to center, back to your present moment. And people think typically when you say purpose, they think purpose, like big purpose, not like, no, now. Like, what's your purpose now?
Right now.
That's so
Hmm.
good. I love that. Thanks for that, Colonel. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. So you guys are en route, in movement.
Yeah, yeah, we're preparing to. We'll be in Greensboro for all the other.
Ah!
We're going to Greensboro in a little bit, so we're gonna just preparing for that trip, see the fam. Yeah.
That's where the fam is, in Greensboro. You're from Greensboro.
No, I'm from up north, so when I say fam, that can be you, that can be
Everybody. I know who those are. Yeah,
whoever I'm
I know
connected
who
in.
some of them
Yeah,
are.
yeah. So but I lived in Greensboro for 4 years, and that's where a lot of my like just my intentional connection with myself happened, where my initiations and all that stuff. So I have very deep-rooted family that I say is there,
Yeah.
who was with me in that. So yeah, I'm going to Greensboro, and then I'm going to head to Atlanta, where my blood family is in
Okay.
Atlanta. So yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yay.
Oh, that's good. I do. Sometimes I wish I was home so much, but again, what's my purpose here now? I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm in Portland.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting time for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All
Like this,
right.
the whole city is not on fire, but
Good. Good. Because I
yeah,
get worried sometimes.
there are parts of it, and it kind of travels.
Mhm.
It's pretty migratory, and it's infused everywhere. And it's also very interesting to me. I will note, like, Portland, as we know, and it's been highlighted as the one of the whitest cities in the country. So again, like, drawing attention, all the attention is here, but
Yeah.
why? Like, why is this the focus? Where's Flint? Where's NOLA? Where's, like, where are all these? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. The dominant culture out there is kicking and screaming, and it's falling. So that's
Oh,
where the attention is drawn, because we've always been in destitute and deprivation, and and so it's nothing. It's like, oh, why highlight more of that? So
right,
now it's like this dominant culture, and now it's like this thing of being, oh, they're being attacked, or whatever the newsreels are saying. And no, we
right,
know what's really happened. The
right,
fires are happening because the fire needs to be there.
right,
It needs to be purified.
right.
Just
Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah.
straight
I'll
up.
say
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So
We'll see what happens. But for those that are, it's a mixture. It's definitely building while smashing. Like, I've seen some really cool things kind of come about this, but I just hope that there is sustainability in these other things. Like, even in the real fight in the street. Like, I hope that people are taking that time to take a day or two off and to get some self-care, because, like, this is literally what the struggle is. It's a continuum. Even with anarchy, like, those who are identify as anarchists, like, it's not a means to an end. It's like an ever evolving thing. So you have to be prepared to stick with it. Seasonally, what do you need?
yes, yeah. It's all about understanding there has to be longevity in this fight, right? In this race, in this whatever you want to call it, in this movement. And in order to
Mhm.
do that, you have to rest. You have to take care of yourself. There has to be wellness. It has to be wellness centered. Even in I can even in the work that I'm doing with uh, economic development and in the Black community here, is
Huge.
it's all about, we have to be wellness centered, because people have a tendency to want to um, remind us of the oppression, remind us of the
Yeah.
gentrification, remind us of the red line, like all of those pieces. And it's like, no, this is why we're here, so
Right.
that we can remind you of what was, and so we can bring the richness back and the wealth
Yeah.
back to this space.
Yes. Yes.
Um, yeah, because people want to keep you there. So, and I think that's something that we forget ourselves, because we've been in the struggle so long.
Yep.
Um, and so it's, yeah, if we keep it wellness centered, then you are more drawn to take rest,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
drawn to make sure you're taking care of yourself in
Yeah.
this.
Mm. Regionally, going back to this regionality piece, I think it's even more interesting. When I left Greensboro and when I left Asheville, like, when I left the South, it was a very different um, vibration, really. I mean, because it's the South, and because out here, like, we have this even, like, cultural identity with, like, more freedom out west or something, and it's just like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, why would that be? And I found myself actually, like, my mind kind of shifted, because I was so used to being in the South and being in this pocket of this mentality, and moving out here was some sort of emancipation of my mind, in a sense. But it's hard to kind of relay and relate that back then, because a lot of times there will be conversations of, well, this has always been happening. And it's like, it's still a perpetuation of that mentality. And so finding new ways to integrate, you know, without anything sounding like people will stomp on it. They'll say it's woo woo, or it's, you know, this, that, you know, and it's like, what do you mean stay positive and be in this kind of like higher vibe mentality? Doesn't that like under rug sweep everything else? It's like, no, to your point, you know, like you to be wellness centered is the greatest shift, you know, to really align with that mindset
Yeah,
and
and
go forward.
it's not. Yeah, it's not. You know, I'm really mindful about not spiritually bypassing it.
Right.
The
Boom.
through, um, but you can still highlight our history in a way to where it doesn't perpetuate the harm, and so you can still inform, you can still educate, um, but me being positive and me being wellness centered, I intentionally don't am not like everything is love and light and everything is just
Right.
do the no, that's spiritually passing for me. Um, definitely a way to center ourselves. Like, and then when I was doing moving through grief for the protectors here and just for us in general, um, it was I talked about that. I'm like, this is a space for Black bodies, for black and brown bodies to be in right now while we are going through this
Mm-hmm.
trying to move through this grief. And yeah, that can be controversial to people that are in spiritual wellness communities, healer communities, because I'm highlighting an issue, but I'm also recognizing, yes, that we need to figure out how to do this in this and not pass, not like just like
Yeah.
act like it exists, because it does.
Right.
It's very.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Like
Yeah.
I recently have been reviewing like emergency medical training stuff on YouTube, you know, like what would I need to do, you know, in order to help somebody else survive if that ever is the case right in front of my eyes. And so just like really learning these different techniques, like they already give you like CPR and things like that in acupuncture school, but other things like gunshot wounds, what would I do, you know, and really kind of like honing in on my skills as a provider if I need be an on guard medic in the street. So I bought even a whole pack, you know, off of Amazon. It was Amazon, but like that was what was available to me. And for me, once I received it, you know, I just really set intention over it, like only if it's necessary, you know, like this isn't something that's going to be in my home as a, you know, reminder of like the dire strait, you know, or whatever that we're going through. But it's like, this isn't this, I don't want to be a fool, you know, like I feel like I'm in tune and in alignment with, you know, the positivity and the steps that I would like to take with like-minded community and, you know, reverb that out. But here is like what's really happening in my backyard. So I need to be prepared. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I think there's definitely, and I've had to sit with that too. And I literally had this conversation with one of my youth activists today about, they were talking about how they want to, protect themselves, so have certain things on them so that they can protect themselves. And I was like, okay, but what are we doing this in an energy of? Are we doing this in an energy of thinking that we are going to have to fight and defend ourselves? So we don't necessarily want to draw that to us. So we want to go in the mindset of like, okay, this is what we're sending out, saying that we are protected,
Right.
period.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Your soldiers before you, and so it doesn't even have to come to you. And so it's being mindful of the energy in which we are, preparing ourselves. Yes, if we are in the middle of battle, you want to, like you say, you don't want to be stupid and not have armor on.
Not be prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be that would be a misstep if I were to be out there and be like, I've got the flag of my Lord on me. Like, I mean, yes,
Yeah.
you do. Yes, you do. I
Yeah,
won't knock
that
that.
too.
I won't knock that. But
Yes.
however, you should probably be prepared.
It's an also and thing. It's an also
It's
and.
also and yes, yes. Oh, it was so good catching up with you and checking in with you. Yeah.
You too,
Um,
always.
yes, and we'll see. I mean, 4 days in, so you know, just kind of trekking through it.
Yep. Yep. Day by day, moment by moment.
Yeah, it's feeling good. I feel good. I feel grounded, more
Hmm.
so than I had, especially last weekend was just like a pummel. It just felt like
Oh yeah.
a pummel.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
even for me today, I was thinking of calling you first and being like, let's put it off because I'm being moved. And I was like, you know what? This is part of it, right?
Keep
This is part of
moving. Yeah.
like taking care of myself. I was like, I can take a moment and go
Uh-huh.
live while I'm in movement and then go back in. And it feels better to be able to do that than to like put it off or rush it or whatever, you know.
Right.
And this is what we have to learn to do, is to
Yeah.
this is the lifestyle. So where do we pause?
Definitely.
Where do we, yeah,
I
that's
love
it. Where
that
do we
too.
pause?
I think that's a real testament to anybody that does anything like meditation or qigong or tai chi or anything like. What's the old adage? It's like you never know if that stuff works until you're like around your family, like your blood family. And it's the same
Yeah.
kind of vibe. Like if you're in tune and you're in movement, then it shouldn't be, like um, I won't say shouldn't be, but yeah, it should be a flow. It's a flow.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lifestyle. It's a part of it's your part of your practice. It's not
Yeah.
something that we always can go escape and do it in the corner of our meditation room somewhere. It has to be in
Right.
our pocket, and that's something I've been saying like about my yoga practice. It's in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of them things that I take with me wherever I go. If I feel like I need to stretch and move and breathe, then I'll just pause and I'll do that wherever I am. I'll be in the middle of the grocery store and I'll just do that.
You do a handstand in the middle of the grocery store.
Hey, I have. I've done it before. Sure have. Whatever I feel like I need to do to move this energy.
That's
Mhm.
awesome. Well, thank you for checking in and tuning in. I'm not even sure like where this is on the timer, but I feel like you are in motion, and it's Friday, and I want you to get to Greensboro safely too, because I know that y'all are 3 hours ahead of me. So,
Uh-oh, it's breaking up.
oh
Okay.
yeah, y'all are 3 hours ahead. So I want you to get going to where you need to go safely.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Love
Thank you
you,
so
and I will
much.
check in with you. Check in with you tomorrow.
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
Peace.
Peace.